What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler, a true banger of a video. In today's video, we're talking about how this past weekend I just tripped balls and went to the Minecraft movie. Hope you guys enjoy. Drop a like if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also go check out my latest Gobcast episode with Jacob Jones, ladies and gentlemen. We go to a park and smoke and drink for just about 4 hours. You don't want to miss it, folks, all right? Go tap in with that. Type in the Gobcast on YouTube. Subscribe, like, you know the drill by now. I don't know. Comment, give me 10 reasons why you love me. I don't know, dude. That would be great. I would really appreciate that. Either way, without further ado, let's dive right into the video. Now, before we dive into this one, I feel like I need to explain myself a little bit here for a few reasons. Because first off, I don't typically go watch children's movies alone. I mean, I don't typically go see kids' movies at all, but this one was a bit irresistible. So listen, last weekend, I was bored out of my mind, guys. It was just one of those weekends where, like, everybody I knew was not available. Absolutely nobody on earth was able to kick it. And I really wanted to go see the Minecraft movie out of a kind of morbid curiosity. I'd had a couple friends who had gone and seen it, and they were like, oh, it's a terrible movie, but it's a really fun experience. Like, you should still go. So I was intrigued. The problem is I had nobody to go with, and if I have nobody to go with, this is the kind of movie that there was just no way I was going to sit through sober. So I'm trying to decide, how do I make a fun day for myself? You know, how do I make a solid Saturday for myself? And I opted to eat a bunch of fucking shrooms that I dug out of the back of my freezer before I went. So I popped open my fridge. I'm looking around to see if I have any exciting intoxicants. I mean, I'm not going to lie, dude. If a couple tabs of acid plopped themselves in front of me on this day, I probably would have taken those too. The shrooms were just what appeared first. So I pop open my fridge where I typically, you know, save all my shrooms and all my extra psychedelic goodies, and I'm digging around the back of my freezer, and I find this chocolate bar that listen, guys, I have a bit of a thing in my head where I can't throw away shroom chocolate. I don't know. I don't care how old it is. I don't care if there's a new fungus growing on it. That fungus might be psychedelic as well, okay? I just cannot throw away a shroom chocolate. So this bar has been in my freezer for so long that I pulled it out, and it looked like it had chicken pox. It had all these, like, discolored spots on it. Is the correct term oxidization? Oxidized? I don't know what happened to it, but this bar looked like it just came out of a World War I trench, dude. It was really not hanging in very well. That did not deter me, though, because one thing I knew about this bar is there was psilocybin in it, so I didn't really care about the rest of the chocolate. Now, I broke off 4 pieces of this bad boy, which, I mean, I lately have not been tripping much, you know, probably not as much as I used to, for sure. And 4 pieces, as I came to find out later into my day, was too much for my liking. Definitely too much for my liking, but at the time, 4 pieces was just up my alley. You know, I was originally thinking maybe I'll eat 3, but then, you know, I was looking at the bar and I'm like, well, I can't save much of the rest of this. I mean, this thing's dead, you know? This bar was so dead that when I ate the first piece of chocolate, it just kind of disintegrated. Like, it didn't really, mind you, it had been in my freezer pretty much the whole time. I'd say I probably left it out for, like, I don't know, a couple weeks before I threw it in my freezer. And then it's just been in my freezer ever since. I'd had this thing for so long. I think, oh man, look, I got this right around when I moved to LA, which this is, I remember the event that I got this bar at, dude. It was like one of the first events I came to when I moved here. And I've had it in my freezer ever since. So that makes that bar over a year and a half old. Which, I don't know the shelf life of chocolate, if any experts could chime in, but something tells me it's no good. No good after a year and a half. But I still ate the shit, dude. I didn't really care. It was not enjoyable, but I mean, the flavor was still kind of there. Like, it wasn't completely bad, but it was bitter. It was weird. It was almost like it had separated a little bit. Like the milk came out of the chocolate. It was dark chocolate now. It was, I don't know. Either way, who gives a shit about the chocolate? I don't know what I'm talking about. So, I ate 4 pieces of this shroom chocolate, which it's advertised that 3 will give you a full-on trip. You know, typically I would eat 2 of this brand of bar, which, hey, I'm not naming the brand, okay? No free promo for the shroom bar brands that are illegal, dude, because I don't want YouTube to get mad at me, okay? So, either way, You know, I typically would eat like 2 pieces from this brand and they'd be totally fine. But today I really locked in. I ate 4. So I realized as soon as I ate those 4, I had a timer that had just started, you know, and I hadn't really thought ahead about how on earth I was going to get to the movie theater and do anything. I had just eaten my shroom bar. So I was like, fuck. We gotta go, dude. Clock's ticking. I already had my ticket booked. I had booked initially, I had a great seat. I booked the very back corner of the theater. So it wasn't perfect, but it was great for me because I was trying to strategically seat myself in a way where I'd be near no children, which I came to find out later at the Minecraft movie is not possible. But I didn't know what I was walking into. I was thinking like, I'll just take the back corner. I'll be fine, dude. It's okay. Dude, all the delinquents will be in back. Dude, the kids are in the middle area shitting themselves and throwing popcorn. You know, I'll be in the back. No problem. I'm always a back row movie theater guy. Literally always, always, always. I don't know why. I will never sit anywhere but the back row. It's just how I am. So either way, I had booked my ticket for the back corner of the theater, and I drove over to the movie theater, which I didn't really think very far ahead about. I never thought about how I was going to get home. I was just like, well, this is going to take probably an hour to hit at least, so fuck it, dude. Movie theater's literally 5 minutes away from my place. Let's ride. So I went over there, absolutely not thinking about how I was going to get home, jump out of the whip. I had brought myself a little joint to smoke. I'd pre-rolled a little J. So I sparked up in the parking lot, and I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm parked in the back. Very nice vibe. Beautiful weather out today. I'm looking around. I'm like, man, this is a good day to trip. This is a solid day to eat shrooms. And this was also the first, full-on solo trip that I'd had in a minute. When I'm solo, I'll microdose, or I'll take like a light trip often. You know, I'll eat maybe 1.5 grams, 2 grams, or equivalent to maybe 2 pieces of this chocolate bar when I'm solo. But I rarely would go further than that. It's a very rare occurrence that I legitimately want to have a full-on shroom trip by myself. It's just better with friends. It just is. Acid, I'm more inclined to do independently, but shrooms are 100% a social psychedelic for me. So this was kind of exciting. You know, I was sitting there and I remember as I'm smoking this joint, I'm like, dude, this is going to be interesting. Like, I'm at the movie theater. I'm about to trip balls. I'm out of my element. Dude, this is great. I was really looking forward to this day. So I smoked my joint, and I don't know what it was. The joint might have activated it. But I started feeling like a placebo effect type of come up, where I wasn't having any visuals, but I felt it in my veins. You guys, if you've ever done psychedelics, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes, before it even hits you visually or mentally, you just feel it in your bones, man. And that's where I was at. I just felt it coming. I was like, dude, so something's happening. Something's vibrating inside of me right now. So I walk in, and they scan my little ticket. The greeter scans my ticket. I go up to the snack line. Now, the snack line is long, okay? I chose a Saturday afternoon to go see my movie, and this is the day after the release of the Minecraft movie, mind you. So it's lit in this fucking theater. I'm talking the snack line was so long, it didn't even fit in the little, ropes that they had for the line. It was absolutely around the block bumping, okay? It looked like my crib in Schedule 1. Feeds are outside lined up, dude. Now, I get about halfway through the line, and mind you, I'm completely engulfed in a sea of just 8-year-olds that are screaming Chicken Jockey and Creeper and Steve. It is a nightmare in this theater. I am having, even before I'm tripping, I'm damn near having a sensory overload already, okay? I get about halfway through the snack line, and dude, this shit hits me. This shit hits me. I'm standing there, and they literally had just redone half of this fucking movie theater, right? Brand new in here, spotless, the cleanest I'd ever seen a movie theater in my whole life. And I remember the carpet. As I'm standing in line, I look down at the carpet, and it was this You guys know those Persian rugs that are really intricate and ornate. Imagine if every square, every little tile of this carpet was its own Persian rug. It was the most intricate, insane pattern I've ever seen, and it was all confined to each little square of the carpet. Each little, foot by foot square of carpet that they had laid out here. They all had this mental pattern that just connected, and it looked like I was reading the fabric of the world as I'm looking down at the carpet. I mean, genuinely, things around me were disconnecting as I'm staring at the pattern of this carpet. And I just noticed, like, wow, this carpet, it just pops. It's so vibrant. I remember looking down, and it was in reality, it was actually a very deep, almost like kind of burgundy or like maroon red, but it just seemed bright to me. It was almost like a cherry red. It was glowing at me almost as I'm looking down. And immediately, for me at least, when I take a large dose of shrooms, one of the first effects that almost always hits me is that color enhancement. Things will just start glowing around me, and that's how I'll know, like, oh, all right, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. So I'm looking at this carpet, and I'm so locked in that I didn't even move forward when the people in front of me scooted up. I noticed, after a couple minutes, no one in the state of California will say anything if you do that, by the way. Like, if you have a line of people behind you and the people in front of you all move up multiple times and you don't move, nobody says anything here. They just wait. It's like in traffic. Nobody honks their cars. It blows my mind. You do that shit anywhere else in the country, you're getting a polite tap on the shoulder. They're going to say, hey, man, you're time to move up. Let's get it going. Here, dude, it's strange. People will do everything they can to not interact with you. They don't want to honk at you. They don't want to ask you kindly to move. They don't want to tap your shoulder. It's weird. So I look up and notice, like, oh, I'm holding the whole line up. Like, oh, shit, now I'm the center of attention. And I remember I looked behind me at how many people are behind me. And how I really knew I was tripping was not the visuals hitting outside of the color enhancement, but really it was how anxious I got in this moment. Normally, I don't care. You guys got to realize I get on the internet, turn my camera on every day, and 100 people call me a fat retard. My anxiety has been shed long ago, but the psychedelics bring it right back out, dude. I'll tell you right now. Acid, shrooms, even Molly, dude, I turn into an anxious guy sometimes, So I look behind me, I'm like, oh, shit. Dude, I'm causing a spectacle right now. I can barely function. I'm trying so hard in my head to keep it together because now objects are starting to move slightly, and people are looking a little strange. It's like, hey, your head looks a little inflated, like the Airhead man as I'm looking at the woman in front of me, I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed here. So I'm trying really hard to keep it together, but I also start cold sweating a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, dude. This is real. This is real life, dude. It's too late to go back. There's no way out of this now, dude. I can't even drive anymore. Like, this is it. I'm locked in. So finally, it gets my turn to order my snack. And I get up there, and I got myself a little Nerds gummy, the cluster gummy, because they looked good. I got myself a popcorn, because I just feel like that's a must. And also, at this theater I went to, if you get a drink, you can bundle a popcorn, and it's like $2 more. Versus, like, if you get it on its own, it's like fucking $10. So I was like, all right, well, I'm already going to get a drink. Throw the popcorn in that shit. Lo and behold, the popcorn was the worst mistake I've maybe ever made in my life. But we'll get to that. So I pay for my snack. I actually perform pretty well up at the front counter. And I walk over to the movie theater butter station. Whenever you get your popcorn, you got to go douse it in just the most disgusting fucking oil that's ever been created on this planet. And I just load my popcorn up, dude. I do it every time, dude. In fact, I actually intentionally pour out a little bit of the popcorn when I get it, so I have more room to shake the bag around to get the butter. That's a fat fuck pro tip right there, ladies and gents. So I did my strategy, of course. I pour out a little bit, get some butter in that shit, shake it around a little bit. Now I'm locked in, dude. I got my drink, I got my popcorn, I got my snack. I realize, however, as I'm walking away with my popcorn, I don't know where the fuck I'm supposed to go. I don't know what theater they told me. They told me when they scanned my ticket. I don't know. This place doesn't have paper tickets. It's all on your phone. And I was not about to pull my phone out with butter all over my fingers. So I'm just walking around, looking around, and I realize that there's also no signs at the theater doors that say what fucking movie is showing. So now I'm extra confused. Now, lo and behold, as I'm walking through this hall, kind of just browsing all these theaters, trying to figure out where I belong, the security guy walks up to me. And he kind of comes up and he's like, hey, man, I have a question. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. I'm like, oh, shit, dude. This guy, he knows I'm tripping. Yeah, this boy knows I'm tweaking, dude. I'm like, what's up? He's like, are you Goblin? I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. This guy, he's still to this day, I don't think has any clue I was tweaking, dude. He has no clue. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was not at all expecting to get recognized in this scenario. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, dude, I was just watching your video. We had a quick little conversation. I'm not going to air him out. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to get him in trouble, but shout out to you. You know who you are out there. It was a pleasure meeting you. But that caught me way out of left field. This guy asked me fucking if I'm Goblin. I'm like, okay. So now I'm distracted for a few minutes, just chatting with this guy. Still tweaking balls. The carpet is now moving. The pattern has rearranged itself. I'm looking at the lights in the ceiling, and they're brighter than they should be, and the walls behind me aren't quite straightened. However, I'm locked in on this conversation. You know, gotta maintain my appearance. I can't turn to this guy and be drooling on myself like a bumbling idiot. You know, no, we gotta lock in. This guy knows who I am now, dude. Normally I can go incognito like a bumbling idiot. Not at this theater, apparently. So, you know, we chatted up for a couple seconds, you know, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, where the fuck is this theater, by the way? Like, where am I supposed to be? And he points me over to the other side of the theater. It's split down the middle. They have half of the rooms on one side, half the rooms on the other. So I'm like, bet, no problem. I walk over to the other side, and by the time I got there, once again, I had just forgotten what he told me. I didn't know where I was supposed to be. So I walked into the first theater that I heard was loud. I heard it getting rowdy in that bitch. And I was like, well, that's probably fucking Minecraft, you know? I mean, I was looking, before I booked a ticket, they were showing Minecraft in 5 different screens at this theater. 5 of them on the same day. So my odds were pretty good that this was Minecraft. And I walk into the theater, and I go all the way up to the back to my seat. And I get there, and there's these little fucking 8-year-olds posted up in my corner. No, I'm sitting there, and I kind of froze up for a minute just staring at him, because I'm like, bro, I'm not going to sit here and beef with some 8-year-olds for my corner seat at the Minecraft movie while I'm tripping on shrooms. That's rock bottom. I got to figure out an adult solution to this one. So I start looking around for a different seat, which is kind of hard when it's pitch black in the theater. It's difficult to see where there's a few seats open, especially when it's this full, too. This place was jam fucking packed. I didn't realize it at the time, but I clearly did not walk into the right theater because I showed up with enough time to get in there before the movie was supposed to even start showing. By my math, they were still supposed to be running ads. And when I walked in, the movie was in progress. Like, it was well underway. Like, I think I missed the first probably half hour of the Minecraft movie, if not even more. But I didn't have time to figure that out. I was, you know, at this point in a theater showing the Minecraft movie, which was good enough for me. I was not going to get more lost than I already was. So I started looking around for an open seat, dude. And I will admit, it was kind of hard to tell how hard I was tripping once I got in the theater because all the lights were out. There wasn't as many objects to kind of ground myself with. Typically, I'll do this thing in my head where if I notice an object's really wonky looking or off, or if just something in my environment is off, I'll be mentally telling myself like, oh, I'm tripping balls. And then in turn, I'll actually feel like I'm tripping harder. It almost felt like I kind of sobered up when I walked into the theater at first. So I'm walking through the aisles. I'm looking for an open seat, and I end up settling in the very front right corner. The literal front right corner. Like, I can't go any further over than I already was. However, there was no kids next to me, so I was like, dude, this is a perfect environment to trip. There's no 8-year-olds next to me. I didn't check the row behind me. Unfortunately, I didn't check the row behind me. I didn't look behind me because as I sit down, maybe 5 minutes go past and the kid behind me clearly shits himself. Like, I'm talking just a brutal scent engulfs my region, okay? And let me tell you something, guys. I'm not going to get too descriptive here. I know some of you guys are probably eating lunch or whatever. Baby shit is different than adult shit, okay? It is a scent that encapsulates the region, and it just captures it for the rest of the day. It captures the flag is what it does. And the entire rest of the movie, I smelled baby shit. So I just want to preface that. We're off to a rough start, but you know what? Minecraft movie. I'm breaking my goddamn neck looking up at the screen, trying to enjoy the film. It's a terrible POV. However, I'm actually enjoying myself. I'm laughing at like the stupid jokes. For some reason, Jack Black was just entertaining to me in this moment. And also, pretty much every mob that I saw in the movie made me laugh, like audibly. I remember the first time I saw a sheep. Dude, I laughed for like 2 minutes straight. It looks absolutely brain dead. That guy's IQ might be single digit, dude. The first time I saw the villagers, laughed my ass off, dude. Hilarious. First time I saw a zombie, jokes. Comedy. None of this shit was actually funny. I was just tripping hard enough to enjoy myself, chuckling. hooting and hollering. Now, one of the things that I disliked, though, is although Jack Black was saying some funny stuff, he was hard to look at while I was tripping. And I mean this with no disrespect. Shout out Jack Black, you know, a real childhood legend. But that man looks grotesque when you're on shrooms. I mean, it looked like I was looking in every pore on his face, and I could see a bunch of little bacteria doing the worm in that shit. It was, I don't know what it is, dude. He just looked, like really, truly no disrespect to Jack Black. I don't know what it was, but on shrooms, this man turned into some sort of monster, okay? Maybe it was the facial hair, too much hair going on. It was all moving at the same time, making me nauseous. I don't know. But sometimes when Jack Black would come on the screen, he was front and center. I would kind of look to the side of the screen, or I'd look down at, like, you know, my cup and read my cup or something for a minute. Because for some reason, I can't explain it, but I would literally get nauseous when Jack Black would be on the screen for too long sometimes. And it's not like, you know, I'm sitting here sober and I'm like, oh, Jack Black, oh, he looks fucked. No, Jack Black did great as Steve, okay? But it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe he was a little sweaty in the movie. Maybe I was a little sweaty in the movie. Something just wasn't connecting with my cranium. So, you know, as I'm getting settled in, I also bust out my popcorn, of course, because that's just like, that's an essential thing. I wasn't even hungry in my head, but, you know, you're sitting at the movie theater. I mean, dude, the popcorn is almost like something you do passively. Like, you don't think to grab popcorn. It's just the popcorn's in front of you. You grab a little popcorn while you're watching the movie. That's how it goes. The problem is I doused this popcorn in enough butter to drown a fucking whale. So as I'm eating it, my fingers are becoming covered in this movie theater butter, which normally is not that big of an issue because I don't put nearly as much as this. But I think I just got dazed and confused at the butter station, dude, because my fingers were just coated in this oil that the napkins don't quite get off. And it created this real sensory issue for me, where now my fingers are oily. I'm feeling the oil. No matter what I do, I can't get them off. I refuse to lick my fingers at the movie theater. I'm not doing that shit. That's gross. So I'm sitting there, and I'm wiping my fingers with the napkin, and it's just, the oil, the butter is just not coming off, and it's really making me trip. I'm really quickly getting uncomfortable. It's almost like this just despair is filling my brain. You guys, if you guys have ever had a bad trip, or you've had a good trip suddenly turn bad, you know that feeling where a very small thing can set off this domino effect where suddenly you're having a bad fucking trip. And that's what was starting to happen to me. It was at first I was like, oh, my fingers are, you know, they got this movie theater butter on them. They're kind of, I don't like how it feels. You know, my finger's a little oily. I'm trying to get it off of the napkin. I realize I can't get it off of the napkin. I'm starting to freak the fuck out because now I'm overwhelmed. It's like, oh, I gotta go find the bathroom to wash my hands now. Where's the fucking bathroom, dude? How do I open the door? My fingers are so oily. I'm still so uncomfortable. It's literally almost making me shiver. I get sensory issues off the shrooms, dude. I don't know what it is, dude. Maybe I have tism. I don't know, man. Maybe this is how I find out, dude, at the Minecraft movie, tweaking off the butter. I don't know. But either way, I'm freaking the fuck out over this butter being on my fingers. So I get up and I walk out of the theater. I left all my fucking shit, dude. I literally left, my phone was in the seat, and I didn't even realize that. I just got up and dipped, dude. I walk out of the theater and I'm trying to find the bathroom. And the bathroom at this theater is not in a normal place. It's not just in between the other theaters. The bathroom is hidden next to the fucking exit door. So I'm wandering this theater. I walk from one side all the way back across to the other set of theaters. There's no bathroom there. Absolutely nothing. I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, maybe I'll ask the security guy, dude. He's cool. He knows me. I can't find the guy. Probably for the better, because at this point, I was probably a complete mess and absolutely tripping dick, dude. So I'm trying to find this fucking bathroom, and finally I look down this little hallway that leads to an exit door, and I see the bathroom sign sticking out. I walk down there and I go in the bathroom, and oh, it couldn't have been any fucking worse, dude. 8-year-olds fucking everywhere with their parents using the bathroom, getting help. You know, the parents are picking the kids up to the sink. It is crowded. There's only one sink, one toilet, and 2 urinals in this fucking bathroom, dude. I'm sitting there and I'm looking around like, yo, I'd rather be at the fucking Geneva Convention off shrooms right now, dude. Please. Anything but this, dude. This is horrible. And I'm waiting and waiting for these stupid little 8-year-olds to wash their fucking shit crumbs off their fingers. Finally, it gets my turn up at the sink. The white lights glaring down from the ceiling of this bathroom had me feeling like I was in a fucking operating room. I was just so ready to get out. The tiles on the floor, the checkered pattern were starting to cross and become a pattern of X's. It was just rough, dude. I was ready to get the fuck out of that bathroom. So I washed my hands. I rinsed them up good, dude. I thoroughly rinsed my shit. 2 rounds of soap, going ape shit bonkers in the bathroom, dude. I pop back out. I go back over to the theater. I take my seat, and I sat down right. I don't want to spoil the movie, but, like, does anyone even give a fuck about there's going to be that one guy for sure. There's going to be that one guy. No, we're going to do it for you, one guy. Whoever you are out there, you know who you are. I'm doing this for you. I'm not going to spoil it. But at one point, they go to the Nether. Okay, they like visit the Nether, and that's around where I sat back down, if I remember correctly. They were fucking around with the Nether, dude. There was like these pig dudes and everything, and that's basically where I sat back down at. So I was very lost. I couldn't tell you how long I was out of the bathroom, but probably a long fucking time because I was wandering around and then I had to wait in line for the sink. Probably a decent amount of time. But I get back and I sit down in my seat, realizing I left my phone there, grab it back, throw it in my pocket. Finally, my sensory issues are fucking solved. However, I walk back in and I'm once again greeted by the baby shit smell. So not all is one yet, dude. Not all is one. However, I'm now able to enjoy the remainder of the movie, which was it was less than an hour that I had left at this point. So you got to remember, I probably only saw a third of the Minecraft movie, actually, because the first third of it I missed completely by walking into the wrong theater for my movie. Then the second third, I was wandering around trying to get butter off my fingers while I'm tweaking dick and cold sweating. And then the third third, I finally sat down and got to enjoy, but I didn't really understand much because I missed the first 2/3. So, Minecraft movie. I will admit, though, the only reason I had a blast at this movie was the audience. These motherfuckers would literally applaud every time Jack Black said a Minecraft word, and I was really into it. I was clapping along with him towards the end. There was one point he said, like, I think he literally said, "Let's mine and craft," and the theater fucking exploded, dude. It's like someone threw a frag grenade in that bitch, dude. It was just electric in that theater at this point, dude. And it lasted like that all the way until the very end of the movie. I remember the credits rolled, and I only had these kind of sporadic moments of realizing how hard I was tripping until the lights turned back on and I walked out of the theater. The credits rolled, and I immediately got up. I didn't wait for an after-credit scene or anything. I was so not interested in that at this point. I was more interested in going and getting some fresh air because I was tripping dick, dude. So I remember I get up, and I walk out of the theater, and now I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. I'm completely alone. I cannot drive my car. I'm sitting in a fucking strip mall. What do I even do at this point? And mind you, I'm starting to have almost this peak, this come up. It was like all of the psychedelic effects had suppressed themselves and waited for me while I was in the dark theater. And the moment I got up and walked out, they were like, all right, let's all slam him at the same time. I was tweaking. I had the craziest head rush. I remember it literally felt like my hair follicles were tingling, every single one of them individually. Just insane. I almost felt like I was going to pass out. And I remember I kind of sat down at the base of the stairs in the theater, and I was like, dude, what the fuck do I even go do right now? You know, I'm tweaking, dude. I'm tripping balls. So I sat there and literally did nothing but just vibed. Just took in the fresh air, enjoyed the plants for maybe 30 minutes. And then I realized, like, okay, I should go do something besides just tweaking on the steps of this theater for like 5 hours straight. I should probably go somewhere. So I start looking around, and you know, I had been to this strip mall before. It's not like I had never been to this place. So I knew some of the businesses in here, but it was all like Old Navy and like fucking Five Below, like stupid shit. Not anywhere you want to go while you're tripping, dude. So finally, I realized that just across the street, there's a GameStop and there's also an ice cream place. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got me. Okay, you've got me. You've got me hooked. I'm absolutely in. GameStop and ice cream, I'm in, dude. Let's take a stroll. So I start walking through the lot, dude. I'm not waiting at any crosswalks. I got honked at twice. I remember it like scared me. I was tweaking, dude. I got honked at, and I would like wanted to go apologize to the driver, like, hey, sorry, but like I was in no condition to do so. Sometimes I get in this zone when I'm really tripping hard where I just disconnect from the entire rest of the world and I'm just doing my thing. I'm on a route. I'm on a direct route, okay? There's no safety. There's no consideration planning this route. I'm on a fucking mission. So I direct my mission over to the GameStop/ice cream store area. And I walk over to the GameStop and I'm about to walk inside. And I'm looking, I don't even know what the fuck I was going to do at GameStop or acquire at GameStop, but I was about to walk inside, and there is literally, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but there's a folding table laid out there with like a shitload of chairs, enough chairs to fill the whole table, and it is just a straight line of like 10-year-olds. I don't know what they were doing. There was nothing on the table yet, as far as I could see. They were just lined up at GameStop on a folding table. I don't know if someone wanted a GameStop birthday party. I don't know how you even arrange that. Maybe this is like someone from corporate's kid. They were like, yeah, my little Timmy, dude, he wants a GameStop party, bro. Throw a couple copies of Minecraft on a folding table and let him do it in the lobby. You know, come on. Don't complain about it. You guys will get an extra, holiday pay for the day. Just set it up. I don't know what was going on, but I saw that and I was just like, I've had enough fucking loud 8-year-olds for the day. Now, I would like to enjoy the rest of my shroom trip. So I did not go to GameStop. I opted instead to walk over to Froyo. And at this point, let me just describe something to you guys, because this is going to be hard for me to explain unless I get descriptive here. So walking out of this GameStop, there's this line of trees that are across the parking lot. Not across the street, just the parking lot. And it's like, a nice little green area. They plant the trees at the edge of the parking lot to make it look nice. Well, when I turn around from GameStop, I notice all these trees, and the trees were somewhat close together. They had grown very big, and it looked almost like the leaves were like coming together and like locking arms, like the branches or something were locking arms and intertwining to form a big tree. And I think it was just the movement of the leaves and the tree that was caused by A, the breeze, and B, my shrooms. But I didn't see it that way. I saw it as like, yo, these trees are ganging up to form a super tree, and it's about to beat the fuck out of me, dude. So I didn't like completely freak out or anything, but I remember I started speed walking around the corner. I felt that like goosebumps on the back of my neck feeling. The hairs on my neck are standing up. It's almost like when you're being followed, dude. I looked at the tree. I was like, oh, fuck, dude. I'm getting followed home by the tree. I've got to go. So I turned the corner, and it's the ice cream place on the other side of this little like strip mall building. I turned the corner, and now I'm away from the trees. Now I'm facing a fast food place, so we're good. We're locked in. I go walk into this ice cream place, completely empty, thank fuck. Maybe a money laundering operation, now that I think about it. There was one table with 2 chairs pulled up to it, and then you just go up to the front and get your Froyo. And that was pretty much it, dude. Yeah, I don't think it was ice cream. I think it was Froyo. I don't think it was ice cream. Either way, it doesn't matter, dude, okay? They served me a fucking chilled dairy product, I guess. Who cares, dude? Suck my nuts from the side, dude. Either way. So I'm getting my little ice cream up. I get the small size bowl because I wasn't really trying to, have very much ice cream. But also, I mean, it was kind of a hot day out. It was a good day for some Froyo, and I ate maybe 2 bites of my popcorn and threw away my drink and the candy that I bought I didn't even open. I think I also just threw that away. I probably should have just given that to a kid or something. But then it's like, no, if I was a parent and some random dude walks up and hands my son a bag of candy, no, I'd shoot him in the back of the head. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I shouldn't have done that, actually, looking back at it. Okay, either way. So, I get my little ice cream, and I remember I sat down at the table in this place. And the reason I'm convinced this is a money laundering operation is because I sat there on the table for like probably a fucking hour, taking a bite every 10 minutes, okay? And not one soul entered the establishment. Not one person. There was foot traffic going past. There was a Starbucks like 2 doors over from this place. They got foot traffic. Not one person walked into here. Riddle me that. The only person willing to walk in during that time frame was my dumbass, and I was not sober, okay? Money laundering operation, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I had to sit there, and eventually I fucking Ubered home. I'd gotten so bored of just sitting at the Froyo place looking around, because mind you, my other options for places to go to that were within, eyesight of myself here were quite literally Old Navy, Five Below, and there was like a Home Depot. I'm not trying to kick it at Home Depot. Although, honestly, those dudes that hang out looking for work in the parking lot might have been lit to kick it with, dude. I don't speak any Spanish, though. But damn, we could have had a little cerveza. I know that. Yo necesito cerveza. Yeah, that's how you act. Dude, I know that. No, I would have been good. I would have been good at Home Depot. I'm going to Home Depot next time, dude. Fuck. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like. We're getting long, so I'm going to cut it here. But listen, moral of the story, dude, don't trip at the Minecraft movie, dude. Go trip at Home Depot's parking lot instead, dude, I guess. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. I just felt like I needed to make a video about this one. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.